Welcome to the very first episode of Totally Smart Talk, the official podcast of Totally Kids Preparatory School. I'm Amani Michael Banda, and joining me is my co-host, Lily Krajic. We are so excited to kick off this podcast where we'll talk about school life, learning, and answer amazing questions.
That's right, and for our very first episode, we have a very special guest, our amazing school director, Mrs. Lusungu Siame. We'll be talking about her vision for the school, some challenges faced, and even some fun surprises. So let's jump right in.
Mrs. Siame, welcome to Totally Smart Talk. We're so excited to have you as our first guest.
Thank you so much, Amani and Lily, for having me on your very first podcast. I must say I'm extremely excited and delighted to be here. It's something that we've been looking forward to, and seeing it materializing fulfills my heart. So I look forward to the conversation that I'm going to have with you today.
Let's start with something simple. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to become a school director?
Wow, thank you so much, Lily, for that question. My name is Lusungu Siame, like you know. Yes, I am an educator, and I've been in the education space since 2012. That's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Yes, so I've worked both in private and public sector. And my last work assignment outside of Totally Kids was with the Copperbelt University.
Wow.
Yes. So now, what inspired me to be school director? I didn't set out to be school director. The current role that I have was inspired by my children being school director for Totally Kids. Yeah, my children then were very small, and one of them walked up to me and was like, "Mommy, I really miss you." And, I could see the sadness in his face and the honesty in his question. And at that point, I sat down and reflected to say, okay, what is my son talking about? So when I asked him further, he was like, "Mommy, you rarely spend time with us these days." And true, really, at that point, I had a very busy work schedule, and I was rarely with my children. Yes, so I had to, take a back seat and look at how I could meet the needs of my children at that point, where they really needed their mother, but also how I could, continue with my career as an educator. Yes, and probably that's also a learning moment for the two of you, Amani and Lily. When you feel something, there's something that you want to communicate, it's always important that, you share it. It could be with your parents or any adults that you trust. Yeah, because you never know how that would not only help you, but also help the next person. And the reason why I say that is because, when my son told me that, he really missed me, I had to take a back seat and say, you know what, this is true. If I truly introspect, I rarely spend time with my children these days. And as a parent, it's something that, bothers you to some extent, but because you become so engrossed in what you're doing, you forget, like for me, really, I took it that, I'd forgotten my primary responsibility of being a parent and being there for my children. Yes. So to cut the long story short, a moment that was, a sad moment for my child. And because he was able to tell me to say, "Mommy, this is how I feel." And in that moment, I actually, had to sit down and then say, okay, what can I do? And it's at that point that, the idea for Totally Kids came about. Yeah, so we again sat down with my children. They were giving me, ideas as well as also suggestions of how we could start out Totally Kids. So Totally Kids started in 2019 as a daycare and nursery, and now it has grown into a preparatory school. And hence my current role as school director at Totally Kids, a role that I really love. And and I believe my children are actually happy that, at that moment when they needed me, I was with them. And now they also are happy for me that I'm the school director for Totally Kids.
It's amazing to hear.
Thank you.
What is your vision for Totally Kids Preparatory School? Where do you see the school in the next few years?
That's a brilliant question, Amani. Yes, so my vision for Totally Kids is that I would love to have Totally Kids as an all-inclusive learning space, a space that, every child that is admitted or enrolled thrives, not only academically, but also in character. I strongly believe that, every child has got, something in them, potential in them, which can be harnessed. And when that potential is harnessed, they can actually be able to then make meaningful differences, not only at a personal level, but also in the communities where they are. So I would love to have Totally Kids as a hub of excellence for quality and future-focused education. Yeah, a facility where, that combines strong academics, but also practical life skills that go beyond the classroom. So I would want someone who is probably, if they are challenged academically, you're able to harness certain skills in them. It could be technological skills. Yeah, it could be, sports skills. If somebody has got an interest, for example, in soccer, basketball, would want to have a facility, where such potential is supported, as well as also having that child one day becoming, it could be a professional footballer, it could be a professional artist, it could be, just different skills. Like I said, skills that really speak to that child thriving in any given space. Then also when I speak to character, it's not always, it's not enough to then, just have a child thriving academically. You want to speak to who they are. You know what I mean? So we want to have a child that is, curious in terms of, wanting to learn, enjoying their learning, a child that is confident in their abilities, a child that is resilient, where having that, where you don't give up in terms of, just having that spirit of never giving up, because we know the challenges will come our way, isn't it? But you should be that person who is a fighter, always wanting to, make it in life. We want to have a child that is, independent in their own thinking, independent in the way they do their things. We want a child who is a team player. So all those are added on skills that we would want. So at the end of the day, we want, when a parent enrolls their child at Totally Kids, the focus really is not just on academics, but also just grooming the whole character of a child. Like I said earlier, a child that will be able to make a meaningful difference at personal level as well as society. That is my vision and future outlook for Totally Kids.
Being a school leader must come with many challenges. What has been one of your most biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
You're absolutely right, Lily. Leadership does come with challenges. And for me, being a school leader, as well as an educator, one of my biggest challenges has been the inability to accommodate every learner. Because as an educator, I'm coming from a premise where I strongly believe every child should have access to school or should have access to an education. But then I find myself in a space where the system itself, excludes some children from being enrolled. But then I would want to, have a situation or get to a stage where every child is accommodated, because every child, it's every child's basic human right to have access to an education. And this is also, against the struggles that a child may have. Like I had spoken earlier, there are children that are not gifted academically, but then schools should have programs for them that, are able to meet where their strength lies. Yes. So to basically answer your question, it's been the inability to accommodate every learner. But then I look forward to a stage where we have the capacity and have every learner, have access to education, because education really is one of the biggest investments that you can give to every person and every child. So what we're doing as Totally Kids currently is that we are taking on quite a number of children that have some special needs that we currently can handle and manage. That is our way of saying, okay, we can, despite these challenges, we can accommodate learners that in a way have got special needs. Like I had spoken to earlier, the children that would struggle academically, but then they have strengths in other areas. So then as an educator and personally as me, Mrs. Siame, I would want to, have this child into our facility. Yes, they're not doing well in terms of their academics, but then we give them the support in the area where their strength lies. To answer the latter part of your question, Lily, what we're doing as Totally Kids currently is to, trying to be inclusive. We've brought on board children with special needs, and these are needs that we currently have the capacity to handle. Yes, it hasn't been easy, but so far with the support that we've received from parents as well as staff, we've been able to, in our community, manage to have children with special needs. And probably in future, we look forward to a stage where this can actually be on a larger scale than it is currently.
Now let's have a little fun. If you can go back and be a student again, what's one subject you'd like to study all over again?
Wow, that's an interesting question, Amani. So for me, I was a numbers girl. I loved numbers. And the reason why I loved numbers, really, it was because of my teacher. This teacher was so passionate about teaching mathematics. He made mathematics so easy and simple. When he would take us through the formulas, basically the steps of solving a math problem, he made it so exciting. And it's because of that, I think because of his passion, that even up to now, when I look back or I go down memory lane, he's one of the teachers that really stands out, because he made me love mathematics. And I got very good grades in mathematics because of him. So it's also just a call to teachers. When you're teaching your children, you can imagine this teacher taught me somewhere in 1996, but I still remember him because of his passion. So teachers out there, it's very important to be passionate about what you teach, because, you leave a very big impression on your children. So passion is really important in teaching. So numbers and mathematics, that is my favorite subject.
That's nice.
Thank you.
And for a quick fun round, what's your favorite color, favorite food, and one hidden talent?
Thank you, Lily. Wow, my favorite color is brown. I'm not sure why I'm inclined to brown, but over time, I think I've interpreted it as, my inclination to my African identity. So somehow I connected to, the nature, the safari of Africa. Yes, and because I'm proudly Zambian and African, so brown for me speaks in terms of color. So I love brown. Most times when I walk into, it could even be a shop, for whatever reason, I'm attracted to something that's brown. So I love brown. My favorite food, I'm not sure if you know it, but it's a local food. In Bemba, we call it tute. Yeah, the English name is cassava. I believe you know cassava, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes, so I love cassava in its entirety. I love the tuber, which is the tute itself. We call it tute. I love the meal that is made from cassava, the shima, but not made from the maize meal. So this one is made from the cassava meal or the tute. Yeah, you should try it. Yeah, it's a very nice delicacy for me. I love the leaves. We call them katapa. So, just from one plant, I would have my shima, I would have my relish, and I would have a snack. Yeah, so that's my favorite food. Then, what was the other question? Just
Your
remind
hidden
me.
talent?
My hidden talent. Is it even hidden? Maybe at school here it's hidden because I don't do it. I love cooking. And probably to prove it to you guys, one of these days we should do some cooking at Totally Kids. So that day I'll not come as school director, but I'll come as the Totally Kids chef. And I'll go into the kitchen and I'll invite both Amani and Lily to be my co-chefs so that we can prepare a big meal for everyone at Totally Kids. How would that be?
That would be amazing.
It would
Can't wait for the
definitely.
day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it would definitely be amazing. You can imagine just the three of us, we take over the kitchen and prepare lunch for everyone. Yeah, so I look forward. So we'll put it on our calendar. One of these days, I'll definitely invite you into the Totally Kids kitchen. Yeah, so even when you come to my place, if ever you did, my children or my family will be able to actually tell you to say, Mom is a great cook. I love cooking. That's my hidden talent in inverted commas.
Wow, we're learning so much today. But now, let's hear from some of our students.
We asked our students to submit some questions for our school director to answer.
I hope they're easy ones.
They're very easy.
Okay.
Here's our first question from Andile, a grade 3. Why do we have so many schools? That's a good question. What do you think, Mrs. Siame?
You're absolutely right, Amani. That's a great question and smart question from Andile. Yeah, so we have school rules to maintain discipline, especially in a school setup like this one. So we want to have, a safe space for every child that comes into Totally Kids. With the school rules, we'll then create that safe space. We'll be able to protect the interests of every child. Yes, then you can just imagine one day you come to school and you find, children throwing stuff around, shouting on top of their voices. How would that make you feel? You'd be very uncomfortable, right? And probably you'd even want to go back home. Why? Because that behavior is portraying that in that school, those children are not disciplined, isn't it? Yeah, so school rules are there to create a safe space, as well as also to just protect each and every learner and make the learning environment happy and fun for everyone. I hope that answers Andile's question.
It does.
Thank you.
Here's another one from Nema. What advice would you give to students who want to be leaders one day?
That's a great question from Nema. So Nema, as well as every child that's listening in, and you guys, being a leader is a great thing. But then leadership is not about a title, like school director. Leadership is really about you as an individual giving yourself to serve others. You know what I mean? Yeah, looking out for your friends. And leadership, starts from you being a responsible person, responsible over your own affairs as well as the affairs of others. So in your classroom, at home, show responsibility. Be one person that is, a good listener, listening to others, okay? You listen to others, but it's also important to listen to yourself, right? So listen to yourself, listen to others, because that will actually make you a good leader. Aside from that, you need to be one that is very hardworking, because leadership comes with a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work that goes into. And like I said earlier, you need to be one who is willing to serve your interests as well as the interests of others. Yeah, so work hard at school, work hard at home, be the best person that you can be. Never have a giving up attitude. We like giving up easily, but as a leader, you don't need to give up. You need to have that fighting spirit, okay? Having that positive mindset that I can do this, and the people that I'm looking after or the people that I'm leading, they can actually do it as well. Yeah, so that is my advice to both of you as well as everyone that wants to be a leader. Start from where you are. It doesn't start with a title, it starts from where you are.
Great advice. Now let's wrap things up.
That's it for our very first episode of Totally Smart Talk. A huge thank you to Mrs. Siame for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Lily and Amani. It was a very interesting conversation that I had with you. And I must say, I'm proud of both of you. And I actually look forward to listening in and watching the many episodes of Totally Smart Podcast. So thank you.
And thank you for listening. Don't forget, if you have more questions, drop them in our question box and we might feature them in the next episode.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check the school website for any new episodes. And if you see our school director anywhere, don't forget to say hello. See you next time on Totally Smart Talk. Bye!